There we go, guys. How nifty is that? Take 157. Hello YouTube. Today we are going to have a look at serial port monitoring and logging it to a file with a timestamp and then creating a chart from that file. I think you'll find this interesting, so let's get cracking. So first off, we'll just have a look at the script again. The line we're interested in here is this serial print, which is reading that variable temp C. I think that's obvious what that is. That's up here. It's reading the temperature in C. You could set it up to read in Fahrenheit. Oh, bless you. And it's reading to 1 decimal point precision. That's what that comma 1 signifies there. And of course we are using a baud rate of 19200 as set up here. And I've already sent this sketch to the Arduino, so we'll just open up the serial monitor. Just restarted. And there we go. It is logging some data, and every time you do a reboot it seems to do something a bit flaky, but it comes good after that. Anyway, so it's just outputting it all in just one big line of text on here, but we can see that it is actually working. Okay, every 10 seconds as set here, which is 10,000 milliseconds, which is 10 seconds. So let's close that, and now I'm going to show you something really, really cool. And here it is. It's a bit of software called CoolTerm. See, it is really cool. And you can get that from this website here. I'll put the link down in the description. And yes, this is from a bloke, Roger Mayer. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it is really a nifty piece of software. So grab the flavor of your operating system that you want. I've already downloaded it and extracted it. It's just a zip file. And here it is here. This is the path where I put it. You can put it wherever you like, but you need to remember the path. And I've already set up an ini file. So this is the ini file. So I'm just going to open it. But I'll show you the settings, what you need to do once this opens up. There we go. Let's just minimize that stuff. Bring that over here. Okay, so we're going to go connect. It's connected, it started capturing. It's on COM7 at 19200 8N1. And look at that. Lovely. Another 10 seconds. We should get another temperature reading. Yes, there it is. Now it's going to look a bit gobbledygook here because it is outputting at one line. You can fiddle about and get it on separate lines, but I've been having trouble with that, putting a blank line in the file. And let's have a look at that file. So, okay, so I've got it set to output here. I'll show you that in a second. And bingo, look at that. Timestamp, tab, and the temperature. Okay, so just going back to this, I'll just show you the options that I've got. So my COM port, my speed, you know, that speed was set over here, up here. So you got to make sure it's the same as here. And yep, so your COM port probably will be different. I turn the DTR off because that seems to stop it from rebooting the Arduino when you make any changes. Terminal, probably just leave all them as at default. Now a few changes in here. Just set this up as the same. I don't actually think that needs to be ticked, but it's ticked by default anyway. But this is where all the heavy lifting happens. This puts that time and date at the beginning of that file we just saw. So you want to tick that. I untick this because then you can actually edit the file. Otherwise you get a lock on it. You know, the CoolTerm will keep that file locked. So untick that, I reckon. And auto start on open, yeah. And there we go. I'll set my path here and the data, so that's where it's outputting that file name into that directory. And so yes, to do that you need to tick that and give it a name, and I recommend doing that because if you don't, it will make a different file name every time you start it. So yeah, set that all up. Nothing needs to be changed on here and on here. So basically it's just on receive and serial port you will need to make changes. Once you've got it all set up like that, click OK and save it. Give it a name, like I called it temp.stc, and then you can just start that by running that ini file from the command line, or just double clicking it. It's pretty good. So yeah, so going back, now we've got that data going into that file. I'll see it, still going in there, lovely. We can actually do something with that now. And but what I'm going to do, because that is very simple. That's just one of the sensors. We're going to do two sensors, and it's where it gets a little bit trickier. But let's do that. So I'll close that, and we'll open up another script here. Open recent. Bring that over. Okay. Drag it down a bit. That's got that fake bootloader there. Let's get rid of it. The reason why I'm getting rid of it because it just takes a bit longer to start. And when you're doing this sort of stuff, you don't want slow starts. And so that delay is set to 30 seconds, and that's what I would have it set to when I'm doing like production, when I actually want it, because you don't really need data every 10 seconds, but I'm setting it to 10 seconds just so we can see the file updating quicker. You don't have to wait around. So let's upload that sketch. You just got to make sure you disconnect CoolTerm. Otherwise, it will have a lock on the COM port. So let's upload that. And while that's uploading, we just want to take note of what's going on down here with the serial print. I thought when I done this, I would just be able to do this and and basically just nope, what happened there? Copy, paste, and just like change that to sensor 2, and it would just output them on the same line. And I fiddled around, I could not get that to work. So once I was on the old Googler, came up and they said, no, you got to fluff around. I don't know why it has to be so hard, but it is. So anyway, basically this is the simplest way I could find of doing it, and that is to basically turn it into just another little program. So it runs this, and this works well. So basically, yeah, so what we got is we're reading that that sensor, outputting it to 1 precision. Then we're printing a tab, so it gives us a space, which will be a delimiter for Excel. Then it's reading the second sensor, outputting that, and then it is printing a carriage return. That's a LN basically, and that's it. So now we're probably getting our let's go clear data, connect, and you always get your dreaded piece of crap on the first start. Clear that, make it look a bit clearer. Let's delete that. All right. So that sensor is not actually outside. They're both sitting on my desk, but there is a little bit of temperature variation from where they are. But we can now see that we've got two being logged, and let's just have a look at this here. Why is it putting that line in there again? Hang on, that's not good. Just one moment. Okay, I'm back after getting those options right. I'll tell you what, yeah, there are a few little things you got to flap around when you're originally setting up this CoolTerm to get it to output how you want it. See, now I've got them all on a nice line. It's looking good. And now if we look at the output on that file, it should be good. Yes, that's nice now. You've got to have them all in a consecutive row, otherwise it's going to make life really, really difficult when you come to bring it into Excel. So I'll just go back through those options just to make sure, because there's been a few changes. So maybe just pause the video if you want to just double check these. But yeah, I did make a few changes here. I think I unticked that one there on this page. I set capture local echo. I think that was all on here. Maybe tick that wait for termination string. Nothing on there. And I actually turn those on as well. Right, so now we're back on track and we've got that outputting. Let's bring in Excel and let's make a data connection. So let's just make sure we get that on the screen. There we go, jolly good. And so you want to go onto the Data tab, go from text or CSV file. Okay, so it's going to go there. So now you want to browse to that CoolWin, wherever you put CoolWin. CoolTerm. I've got mine going into that data folder. There's me file. Give it a second, it'll load it up. Lovely, look at that. How good is that, eh? So we just wanna just set these delimiters up a bit better. There we go. So we've got our timestamp all in one row. Our in and our out temperature, but we'll just go edit, and we'll give those columns some sensible names. Go rename on that one. We'll call it timestamp. This one, all that. Now, course one, and oh, actually, the other way around. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to change it. Okay, and then we just go close and load. Oh, why did it not change that one? Okay, we're going to change that. So I'm going to go back to data, existing connections, that one, edit connection properties. We want to change that refresh to every 1 minute, which is unfortunately is the lowest you can go. And then just go cancel. But don't know if I can rename that. Actually, let's just do that again. I'm not happy. Yes, delete it. So let's do that again. Okay, change the delimiter to tab. Lovely. Edit. Rename. Time stamp. Get it right first time, and then you don't have to do this again. And rename out. Okay. Close and load. Yes, lovely. That's better. Now, go back to data, existing connections, edit connections. Okay, so it remembered that from last time, so that's good. So if we go down here, go here, when that after 1 minute is up, that should bang us in another 10 rows of data. This is where I need to insert some elevator music. One day I'll learn how to do that. Format that as a number, one decimal point. I don't know why that was showing that, where that one's, okay, because of that there was no 23.0, there's no 0, the 0 was just, if there was a 0 it would just or just write it, just the 23 or whatever. Doesn't seem to be refreshing. sure. It's got them there. Okay, I'm just going to double check that. Ah, okay, there we go. Because it was using the other one when I deleted it. Okay. Cancel. Alright, so that should be working now. So let's just move on. And now that we've got our data going in, let's make a chart. So first of all, what we want to do is select all those rows. So select the first one, hold down Shift, and then click C column. So we've got all 3 columns selected. Go Insert up the top here. We go to Recommended Charts. And I think a scatter is better. Yeah, let's scatter. Yep. It's that simple. That simple to put a chart in, guys. Look, all of this stuff probably could be done better by somebody who knows a bit more about it, but I'm just showing you what I've learned. So we'll give that a name. Call it temps. See, it's the reason why I named those columns up there, to give that, make sure that legend had the right name. So now what we want to do is we want to format this axis because that's just all munched, mangled or whatever. And we want to go rotate all text 90. Bingo. There we go. Still not quite right, is it? So let's just make the whole thing a little bigger. Not that much. Seriously. And we'll move that up. There we go. That's a bit better. Select that damn thing. Thank you. Thank you very much. And actually, what we might do, this column here, we might just format that column as a time, and then that'll just strip the date out. That's better. So how good is that, guys? What do you reckon? Eh? Too easy. And that should be automatically updating and adding more data points every 1 minute. You could probably just see that happen, but let's just move along, and let's add a little something else which I think you'll really like, because I did. I thought it was pretty nifty. So let's just go here. Oops, sorry, that's the microphone. And let's go Excel latest values. You can see I've been here before. So feel free to bookmark this page or whatever, have a look at it if you really want to know how this function works. But it is quite complex, but, well, to me it is. I'm just going to put it into Notepad. Copy. Right, start. And we'll just paste that formula into there. Hit enter. Look at that. We've got some data there, but it's gobbledygook. Let's go format cells. Let's go time. There we go. Look at that. And we're going to call that last update. Oh. Let's do that again. Paste. Paste. Go back to that one. We'll change the A's to B. Now it's going to look in the B column for the latest entry. We've got some pretty smart people figured this out, I can tell you. Not me. Look at that, eh? Door. Out. Door. Let's give it some borders. Some biggies. Let's go center. Some nice pretty colors in. Like that. There we go, guys. How nifty is that? Well, we had a few false starts in there, but we got there in the end, and hopefully you guys will be able to duplicate this from this video. I'm going to leave it there, but maybe we'll just make sure we see some new data points come in there, and I might grab one of the sensors and just heat it up a bit if I can find the end of it. There she be, so I'll just put it in my fingers. So this should be the outdoor one, should the next minute should go quite a bit higher. Unfortunately, we just missed that refresh. Excuse the background noise. It's 11:56, so we're gonna just having a drink of water while we wait. There we go. Look at that. But yeah, it has upset the scaling a bit. You can change that, but you know, it's just because it's a big jump. Auto's normally fine, but yeah, you can, like, I can go here and so minimum, yeah, set to auto. So I'll make the minimum say 15. Now it sort of makes it a bit more sensible, a bit more readable. Make it a bit smaller. But look, you know, Google's there. Here's the old Googler to, you know, if you want to learn how to format stuff. Excel was a fantastic piece of software. I wish I knew more about it, but you know, you can spend your life learning everything in Excel, I reckon. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you all picked up something out of this, and have a fantastic rest of the day. Bye.